I've got nothing. Don't know uh how I'm gonna start this video. I think I'm just tired. I think we're all just very tired right now. You come back from work and you want to just have something else to keep you going because what's at work is just work, it's just something you do for money, which, that's fine, that's fair enough, that's how people gotta get by. But there needs to be something else that sustains you. And so people have to have hobbies, people have to have interests, people have to have passions to get by. It's just simply human existence, and it'll be like that for the rest of time. But why is it that I have to strain so hard to do things that I love? And this is not a question that I have the answer to, like a lot of my previous videos, and even having the answer is just having a answer. Having an answer that I identify with, that I've formulated over time from thinking and thinking and thinking about the problem. But today I just have no answer. I can't really give a concrete one, because it's a problem that I'm facing. Even with, the videos that I do now, and this is not some complaint about having to make them, because nobody asked me to make these videos. Nobody at all. I wanted to do them. And I like to do them. But why is it that even if I show immense interest in something, it's like I'm just pulling on teeth, and I can't quite put a finger on what it is. And I think a lot of you can relate to this. It's, you have these passions, you want nothing but to succeed and to be immensely proficient in the things that you have great interest in, but you just can't hit that mark. And it's so weird, because even in making these, the hardest part is done before I even turn the camera on. It's simply scripting. Once you type up something of moderate length, you put a decent amount of thought into it, you say in front of a camera, you get some B-roll, and you chop it up in an editing software. That's really not that hard. The hardest part is coming up with ideas. And this just extends to other hobbies that I might have. Whether it's certain sports that I like, whether it's, certain other hobbies like working out, like journaling, filmography, other sorts of things. Even just walking outside on a day-to-day basis, for whatever reason, feels like I'm just straining myself. Like I'm pulling on teeth. Like I am, expanding or exerting this immense amount of energy just to do simple, basic tasks. And it sort of made me think about other generations or other times if they had to deal with this similar sort of thing, because at least with how we grew up, I feel whenever we saw a bunch of media and movies and TV shows, everybody in there is deeply immersed in their craft. They have like a sort of passion in that way. And I don't know if a lot of us have that similar sort of thing going on. I don't know if it was an unrealistic expectation that those TV shows and movies portrayed. I think it's actually a characteristic that was found in other generations because they didn't have endless amounts of media and endless amounts of pop culture vernacular to events to tragedies in which they were endlessly bogged down with. They were allowed to just be. They were allowed to just exist. And it seems like nowadays, even if you just exist as a regular day-to-day person and you do your job and, you make a little money on the side, or maybe you just do a couple hobbies or whatever, it's like you just open up the internet and it turns out there's like 40,000 different things that you're doing wrong, and you're actually wasting your time in your 20s, and actually you should be doing this so you could set yourself up for your 30s, and actually you should be, working out in this regiment, and actually you need to be traveling more, and you actually need to get this internship, and actually you need to start developing your skills and start day trading, and you need to start and all of this nonsense. It's just so much noise. There's so much shit out there that when you come back and when you try to just focus on something, no matter how simple this is, like this is literally so simple. This is literally so simple. But it's like the hardest thing in the world for me. And I don't know why. I mean, that's a lie. I know why, but I don't know a why in the sense of a productive why, of a why that brings about resolution. We can say that the why is modern technology and modern distractions, but okay, then what? Oh, you should just stop everything. How? It's interlinked so heavily with our society. The vernacular, the way people talk, the way people relate, the way you get jobs, the way you connect with friends. As much as we want to admit that we're more than these curated social profiles that we have for ourselves, that is a big way, at least in modern times, of how we keep up with each other, how we communicate. And you can't just live in this world of, oh, I'm gonna detox from everything and I'm just gonna be on my grind monk mode and I'm gonna cut everybody off, I'm gonna cut off all the distractions. Like, that's like a fantasy. That's a genuine fantasy. Could it be done for periods of time? Maybe. But you can't just live your life like a monk in the mountains. It's not feasible. I mean, I really do hate the sentiment of being born in the wrong generation, because the way how the human experience is you're just born with things. And you can't ever know what it's like to not have those things. Like, I was born brown. I was born Indian. I can't imagine what it's like to be Mexican or Russian or Italian or, I don't know, Nigerian. That is my experience. And so in a weird sort of, you could call it karmic kind of way, that's just what is right now. And imagining a different reality is ultimately very unproductive and just brings about destruction. But I can't help but think, did my dad have to go through this? Did the generations before me have to go through this? They were just, able to sit with themselves and process in a way that I don't think a lot of us can. And when you process and give yourself time to think and just, develop mentally, interests, hobbies, and passions just come naturally. And it's what you actually fill your day-to-day with doing. I mean, I spend more time imagining myself becoming like a fucking god at editing or at directing or at, making videos. I constantly fantasize and daydream about the one day that I'm gonna create a movie someday. That I'm gonna act in something, that I'm gonna, even tailoring into my university/academic side, that I'm gonna become some brilliant engineer, that I'm just gonna do something and I'm really gonna show my soul to this world. But I can't even see it in myself, in my day-to-day. And so what does that really leave me with? Exhaustion. That's what that is. Exhaustion. It's like just running on an empty gas tank. Or a gas tank that's built like a cheese grater. It's got a bunch of holes in that bitch. And it's leaking all over the place. And you just don't have enough energy for what's important. Because everything just around me feels like it's just meant to to drain, and to redirect my energy into all sorts of useless just... I want to avoid saying the word slop, but, you know, it's a really fitting word for it. That's why we feel the way we feel most days. It's just so straining to do the things that you love.